Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ramble Lane. We're still here. We've been here for a good 2 or 3 days now. This might be the first video. I've no idea. So you get context if all the videos have gone out. But we're back here. Thank you to Sheffield United for letting us in. It's not broken in. Thank you to IPM Group sponsoring all the videos, as always. And we're back here. Most of the videos, not yet. But just a general chit-chat on this, really. Both teams right now are in the automatic promotion spots, Sheffield United and Leeds United. And I wanted to have a little bit of a natter. Let us know what you think in the comment section below as well, because I know there's a lot of discourse around this. The Premier League. Getting to the Premier League. How do you stay up? Now, I was sort of looking at the complexion this year, and as of recording, you got all the promoted teams, all in the relegation zone. Yeah, all of them. Now, for Leeds United, I think the sort of thing that we need to do, we're talking about it yesterday, myself and KG on the show, when you act like a big club. And I thought you were a big club. We need to act like it. I think for too long now, Leeds United have gone up and not acted like one of the biggest clubs in the country. And that's been our problem. Yeah, come on, put it in. I think you know in your level, yeah, you've got blueprints up there. I think, you look at Villa, Forest in particular. Villa are obviously absolutely bankrolled, but, I feel like Aston Villa, when they go up to the Premier League, there's always a Aston Villa sort of thing. Yeah, I think from our standpoint, we've got this massive sponsorship deal in the Championship, which I don't think any other Championship club gets, 60 million with Red Bull. I think we go up, and I think there's a big problem now, Jim, with doing maybe what Ipswich have done. Even though some would say the recruitment is pretty decent, I think they've recruited, probably outside Liam Delap, for the Championship. That's what I think. I think Amari Hutchinson is an excellent signing. They've got assets when they go down, which obviously they can sell on at any point. But I think the recruitment that Ipswich have done, even though they've got an excellent, basis down there, great foundation, I think there's a bit of a problem there. But I think bridging that gap is really difficult right now.
Ipswich had to do that, don't they? They bounced between divisions, didn't they? So they had a League One squad to a degree. So there were always going to need to be significant investment. And getting early promotion to the Prem gave them the finances that allowed them to build those foundations. Foundations that I think probably both of our clubs have already got in place because of our recent stints in the Premier League as well and your huge sponsorship deal. So our assets within our own club, and you can argue who's got better assets, and Leeds will likely come out on top with that in terms of player value. But we are set for, if you didn't go up this season, you could sell a couple of players and still be all right, keep the majority of the team together, and maybe bring in one or two that complement the team and still be really strong next year. Ipswich have now put themselves in a position where they can do that as well. So they've bought the best of the Championship, largely speaking. If they come down, they will sell Liam Delap for what? 30 million quid, and that will Hutchinson may go, and that covers their gap, their financial loss. They're also a parachute team that year, so they become a really strong Championship side. Obviously, Luton has proven that.
But I guess when they go up again, it's then once again not about getting the cream of the crop. I think you can't do it anymore. The gap is too big right now for me. The trickle-down effect, and the division in the Championship this year is poor. Yeah, you'd say poor, standing out. I don't know how many of those players, we've been in the Premier League in recent times, very recent times. I don't know how many step-ups that Premier League. I'm looking at the whole complexion right now, and they could be good in the Championship. And we've had players who would be good in the Championship, but stepping up to the Premier League. Ipswich, maybe a little bit more of an isolated example of just that recruitment. But you're right, they had to build that foundation. But then you look at Leicester, then you look at Southampton. It ain't enough. And I think, look, I know you're not going to like this, but I think Leeds have got to go up there, and for the first time in a long time, we've got to go up there, and we've got to really act who Leeds United are, which is a big club. And I think maybe that's why we have a slight advantage over Sheffield United, maybe in that aspect. But it's hard
financially, in terms of the financial muscle.
I think so. You got off when we went up first time, sick by shirt sales in the country, top 15 in Europe.
Yeah.
We bring in a lot of money with the club. So I think, that has got to be something that Leeds lean on with recruitment. Yeah. But there's an honest conversation right now. You got to go up and have an 11, 12 out of 10 recruitment strategy. It has to be spot on.
Absolutely. We've come down to Championship, and I'm absolutely delighted with how we've rebuilt our side. Michael Cooper, we've talked about it previously, unbelievable signing for £2 million. Harrison Burrows, £3 million. Callum O'Hare on a free. We made some brilliant signings, but it's a whole different beast going up to the Premier League. Completely, the gap is huge. And I mean, you talked about players not being good enough to cherry pick anymore. An example that jumps out to me wildly is Morgan Whittaker. He was the talk of the town last season. Everybody were looking at him. Lower end Premier League teams were looking at Morgan Whittaker. He was, banging him in for Plymouth on a regular basis. Goes off the boil slightly, ends up going to Middlesbrough for £5 million? Can't be off there, but he comes off their bench now, and he was the next big thing, and he's just gone to a playoff chasing side. And Borough are a big side in this league. Don't get me wrong; they're a dangerous side, and they'll always be there or thereabouts, I think. But he's not got that big move because he hasn't got the quality to transfer to the Premier League, in my opinion. You look at the sides that are in trouble in the Premier League. We talked about Ipswich and the reason they've invested like they have. But Southampton and Leicester, terrible, who are likely to come down, terrible in the Prem. But when they come down to the Championship, they will by far be the best two teams in the league. So particularly if Leeds are out of the league. And they'll be the strongest and the richest. So
you got to go up again. You got to go again. And we cannot be this cream of the crop Championship.
It's for me. I agree, but it's where we are. It's where we are because there is now 6 or 7 teams, and Leeds are still in that, who are too good for the Championship and not quite good enough for the Premier League. What you're saying is we need to be brave. We need to make big signings. We need to make investment in the first 11 and beyond. But to speculate, to try and do what Forest did essentially, not to that degree, not in terms of the quantity of players, but the quality of players. You need to think big, and you need to be bringing in stars. People that will give you a chance of staying in the Premier League. We've seen it. Everything.
That's players like that. It's 1 in a million. It's 1 in a million, but it's a conversation right now about I'm the best player in the world. Do you know what I mean? And that is 1 in a million. But it has to be. I think you've got to go out and recruit those. Obviously, I think you spent quite a bit of money on Sousa, didn't you? But when you're looking at us, for example, Tanaka, it's an absolute diamond. She tells me that is the kind of recruitment level that you need, in my opinion.
But there's not many Tanakas out there, is there? Because obviously everybody was swarming around him. That's an absolute gem that you found there. You can't be expecting to build a team in the Premier League of players for £3.4 million. You're going to have to go out and you're going to have to buy the odd player for £25 million and spend the money and pay the wages. You might have to pay some £100,000 a week.
You can't get Ray Brewsters.
You don't have the Ray Brewsters. You
So you see what I mean?
You can't misstep. You can't misstep like that. And we
did it with Rodrigo. I think we did it with Rodrigo.
Aronson. What were the John, Kevin, Augustin?
Let's leave that with.
He don't get mentioned enough. He don't get enough love on this channel. You go shout out to JK. Yeah, lots of love for you.
The player playing a Bielsa do bomb. Fantastic.
Viva Victor Orta. Come on. So I forgot where I was going there because I just love that KJA.
Shout you're talking about
we went up.
So it's almost like going up and getting Tom Camden as you starting striking. It's a little bit like that.
We went up, and something we've been conscious with for a while. We've been too cautious for too long. We are more concerned about the risk if we get relegated rather than the reward if you stay up.
Yeah.
And we had the perfect opportunity, and we finished 9th in the Premier League season before you finished 9th. To rebuild our squad from there. We rested on that. We kept with the same players. We made bad investments. We had a terrible transfer. Well, I get pulled up on saying we had a terrible transfer window, but it didn't work out in the long term. We didn't invest as we should have done. We weren't as brave as we potentially could have been, or we've spent it in the wrong place, like Ryan Brewster.
Yeah.
So
I guess when you look at Sunderland, you were just talking about Ipswich there. Sunderland will be the Ipswich, wouldn't they? You'd have to build that side a little bit, probably knowing that they could. I do think Sunderland's recruitment looks excellent. Yeah, it's just looked very, very good. They pick out gems, so I do wonder if that'd be a little bit different to Ipswich.
Yeah.
However, that'll be questioned.
I think they've got stronger assets than Ipswich had when they went up. So yeah, they've got stronger saleable assets of Sunderland. But yeah,
I mean, you go up right now. I would say out of the 4, I think Leeds is probably best set up.
I think you've got the most valuable assets on the field.
Biggest club, I think, as well.
You're pushing it, aren't you? You're pushing.
I think, come on, be neutral.
I am neutral, you know. I'm always honest.
I think the biggest club does help. I think that helps.
Well, it's not Sunderland, does it? And that big start for, but so you can't. What am I supposed to do? Bow at your feet and say Leeds United are the best?
No, because I think a lot of it as well, as you was mentioning the assets. That's why I'm.
You have got the best. I think you've got the most. I think you've got the best squad. I think that we've talked about this before, and we've talked about it right at the beginning of the season. You haven't changed an awful lot in January, if at all, have you? I don't think so. You've maintained that, and that consistency and that sort of familiarity of the squad may well help you now second half of the season as well. But we talked about who's more prepared for Premier League. In terms of playing style, I actually think Burnley are the best prepared, which we've talked about. That. You push back on that a bit.
I did agree with you. I did.
I just think they have the least change to undergo on promotion. I think, if I'm honest, out of the 4 teams, there's an argument to say they're the 4th. And that's, with all due respect to Burnley, I think they've got a good squad as well. I just think there's missing pieces to the game, and I think they're limited in their style of play as well. They haven't got a number 9. We've talked about that previously. But
yeah, well, I said that, but I'm not.
I can offend.
Yeah, I can't. You know, we had this chat on the battle lines, and it's almost like I get what Scott Parker's doing. It's almost the opposite of what Company did. You go up, you're playing this style of football similar to Russell Martin. You are never going to adapt. You're never ever going to adapt. You know, and the argument is you can get a better job, aka Vincent Company. I think Russell Martin will probably still get a top job as well because of the style of football he plays.
Rod.
Yeah. But you know, you kind of look at Burnley. Scott Parker's coming and decided to do the opposite, which is quite brave in the modern game. Yeah, it's not how it's going,
especially for a team that's expected to be at the top of the league as well.
Yeah,
and pushing towards champions rather than just promotion.
But I don't know how much a defensive style of play anymore in the Premier League really gets you to that. I don't know. Keeps you. I think a counter-attacking style with a don't get me wrong. Burnley could do this, to be fair.
Yeah,
if you've got a strong rear guard and you're going up and you set up for being out of possession and a fast counter-attack, almost like you're not in Forest, you know, like a Langer, Hudson-Odoi, Chris Wood. You got that counter-attack ready and you're strong at the back, but you don't put too much emphasis on defending, which I think Scotty Parker does. I think when you set up that counter-attack, less possession, I think that's probably more adaptable to the Premier League.
It's all right absorbing as much pressure as you can in the Championship. It's a different animal in Premier League, isn't it? And without that counter, that out ball that Burnley don't clearly have, because they're not scoring goals either. And it's not
Rush depriving themselves too much on defending as well.
Yeah,
I think
they do. But I think even taking all that out, I don't think any of us are ready. You know, if we got dropped into the Premier League, every team that's promoted is expected to have a really busy summer. But where do you think Leeds United, for example, need to strengthen? Because you've got a lot of good players on your side. How many can make that transition to the Premier League immediately?
Yeah. I think this is why it's an interesting conversation, because I think we've got less to do than others, but I think there's still massive surgery that's needed in that side. I look at it, I think the goalkeeper that you need to bring 2 in. Firpo, I think we'll move on.
Melia is that bad?
We need 2 of okay, yes, with 2 in the net. Yeah, Melia goes, believe it or not, I think, you know, with, you know, the CB of Melia, which is playing the Premier League before, promoted, twice if we go up. And I do think we get a decent fee for him, which is mad, but I do think we get a double money from him. He's still relatively, he's got 2 appearances. Yeah, I think we get a good
reputation to hold, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the agent will push it, I think. So we'll get a good fee for him. You know, bring in a couple of good goalkeepers, and then I think we need 2 left backs. I think we need.
I thought Firpo at best in Championship.
Going to go.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's going to go.
So he's not committed.
Well, what we'll do is when you don't go, we'll get Harrison Burrows as our second left back.
Yeah. Well, he might accept you this time, rather than turn you down for Sheffield United.
Hopefully. But yeah, and I think we need another centre back as well as Strauch and Rowan. I think there needs to be someone else. I'd love to have the depth at onwards. Obviously, it's going to happen straight away.
Sheffield United, yeah.
But I love Milenkovic, Murillo, and obviously, I know it sounds daft, but I'd be like Willy Bolly and Omaban.
Don't sound daft at all.
Omaban, that is like a quadrant of which I think is
it's a nice blend.
And that is. I mean, Forest has got sorted, haven't they? And I think across the squad. God, the depth you need is mad. The depth. So this is not interesting. I mean, I'm talking 2 players for position. I think I guess a better question is maybe like how many acclimatized for me. I think Tanaka does. I know you don't agree, but I think Ampadu does as well. I think Stroud.
Maka does. I don't think Amper do.
I think Stroud could Rodon do. I think Bogle is still a question mark. But it's step up.
Can't wait to find out the answer to that question.
It's that step up. It's that step up. So it's like we're not just talking about how good they've been this season. You need to talk about them at the next level.
Pirou?
No.
Number 9. Best number 9 at league?
I've never said that. I've never said he's the best number 9.
I said he's better than Tyrese Campbell.
I did, yeah. I definitely did. But I think up front there's a conversation there. I think we're strong out wide. I think we are so strong out wide. I agree. Centre attacking midfield, 100% needs someone in there. So yeah, a lot of work. I mean, what about you? This is from an outside perspective. Harmer, Cooper, Sousa if he's fit. I think he needs surgery everywhere else. Genuinely, I think he needs surgery.
It's dependent, but you don't think Harrison Burrows makes a step up?
It's the Premier League.
You don't think it? Yeah, but
even if fit up Jaden Book, but even if fit, that's what I mean. But I reckon you would go on and say definitely Harrison Burrows.
He will get a chance in the Premier if we're promoted. Because there's not believe it or not, there's not a guarantee either of us go up. I know the rhetoric is different on some channels,
yeah,
but
yours.
But Harrison Burrows gets a chance in our side in Premier League, and Nel Ahmedhodzic gets a chance. Cooper, as you've said, best goalkeeper at Championship for me. Argument there? Trafford better?
Yeah. Shut up front door. Why not Trafford? I think
Filcher's a better goalkeeper. Burnley fans would have a great argument.
I really like it where I think Cooper's brilliant. I think Trafford's very good as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's very good, but I wouldn't swap Michael Cooper for anybody in this division.
Oh, how rare just to say Trafford over Cooper.
No, it's not. It's not, but you're just saying it because you'd like to knock us down a peg. So, Vinny Sousa, Ollie Arblaster, Gus Hamer.
It's Ollie Arblaster to get into the Premier League too.
He was in our Premier League team on a season. He was very good. He was very good as an individual.
The Premier League? Yeah, he was very good. Right?
Yeah. Ben Burton Diaz has proven that he can do it at Premier League level.
So you don't need to change it. You don't need much change about this.
No, we don't. That's right, we don't. We'll just complement it, sprinkle a few sides. No, to be fair, obviously, both sides will need a lot of investment. And the only thing, I look at your side and you are strong out wide. I think the only example you've got of sort of Premier League quality is you've got Solomon, who's not a young player, by the way. You've got Solomon on the left.
I think we will get it.
And I think you might. And you've got Ramazani to come in after him. That, for me, Premier League pairing.
Oh, like James and Nonto.
James and Nonto on the side. So they are Premier League strength level, I think. And that's probably the only position, probably in the league, that anybody could sit. Maybe in your centre midfield with Rothwell to go in as well in one of the Hussey shots.
I'm so sure about him. That's what I mean. Like we're talking like Rothwell at the Championship level. I think it's very good. Yeah, I just don't know if it's
depth into a Premier League level. It's quality depth. Whereas in Championship, you've got enough quality depth to obviously do very well, which you are doing. At the Premier League, it's a different beast.
Because if you're relying on Vinny Sousa,
yeah,
hypothetically, and he's got 2 injuries throughout the season.
Well, that's why we'll bring Hamza Chowdhury in, because they're a very similar player. Vinny Sousa's a higher quality.
In the Premier League, Hamza Chowdhury.
Well, it's what we're going to... That's your level down, isn't it? That's your next... He's our Vinny replacement, if you like.
That'd be good enough for you, do you think? It's something like that. That's the depth that we're talking about. Yeah, that's like, is that...
He's played in Premier League for Leicester this season. Look how Leicester are doing before you say it. Yeah, I understand that. But we have to be careful where we pick his battles, don't we? Because do you need 2 Vinny Sousas just in case the original Vinny Sousa gets injured? Or do you need to fill in that gap at right back? Do you know what I mean? Do you need to...
So how do you bridge it then? How do you bridge the credit? What do you do? What? It is just money, isn't it?
Mate,
do you risk it? Do you risk taking that max deduction?
And that, you do it. That is the huge... And it's not necessarily just the points deduction. It's the outlay of the cash. Because it's a huge thing for a bit. You get 140 million?
Yeah.
Say, roughly. We don't know the figures because they fluctuate understandably. You might need to spend that on your first team. Never mind on anything else.
Yeah.
Wages that go along with players that join a Premier League level, that you've soon spent it all without any reward for getting promoted at all. You've obviously increased your assets, but that has to work then. That has to work. Otherwise, you're back down again and you're selling them assets off. Ipswich. But they'll have a stronger foundation for going up. And they are clearly thinking of a long-term plan rather than let's go for it. Forest thought, let's go for it. It paid off for them.
Yeah.
By skin of their teeth, they survived that season, and this season they've gone to get stronger and stronger.
Villa as well. Villa got lucky as well, didn't they?
Villa got very lucky. But they a little bit like yourselves, they've always had heavy, not you haven't always, but you have now, but Villa have always had heavy financial backing. And they will be all right in the end because of the money they've got behind them. I think Leeds, once you get up...
I don't think the Fly Eyes will look around.
I don't.
No, they'll look around. What about your owner? I mean, he's already made a statement. They're bringing in the best striker in the league. You can't get a Tyrese Campbell.
He can. He's injured.
Well, hold on then. That's another conversation. Who's who? Does Tom Cannon get ahead of Tyrese Campbell? Had a strike with Joe Prue.
He's played 3 games. You've got to give him a chance, haven't you? And already set up a winner.
So that's an interesting Blades Ramble chat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something. Hey, you can have it.
There's something I don't care.
No, it's not time for you. We're turning you down in it. Might be on the general shop. Oh, God. Come on, Blades. Let's have a chat about it on the Conor McGilligan channel.
Come on, Des.
Get unbelievable. But at what point were we talking about?
Just bridging the gap. It's just spending money. That is money taking, but it's the risk to get the reward.
Yeah, and it's a huge risk. So,
well, let us know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. It's not really a definitive answer. It's not a ball, to be honest. I think when we go up, I think it'll be a little bit different. I think the recruitment will be...
I think you'll be closer to an FFP issue, I would assume we will.
Yeah, I think we're going to spend big if we get up. I agree we're going to do that.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
To be competitive.
Yeah. So, but bridging the gap, that's it. Bridging the gap that you've got to do. I think if you prepare for a championship, I mean, how long does that go on for? How long do you buy players in the Premier League? You get the cream of the crop from the champion. Let's say, I've sent a Ipswich out to do it, but you go and get a Sammy Schmodix. Again, doesn't work in the Premier League. You go down, but you've got Sammy Schmodix. I just think
it's a risk in there. Look at Luton. Luton did exactly that. You take a risk by doing that. You're not always guaranteed to be. And even Burnley kept a lot of their squad together, made some smart signings, but it's not a guarantee that they'll bounce straight back up because Leeds United are still in this league. So they might take one of the promotion spots. They might not, but they might do it. It's most likely. So, do you know what I'm saying? It's never a guarantee. So it's a risky strategy in itself. Ipswich had to do it, I think, and they will be better for it in the Championship next year. But it won't surprise me if Ipswich finish 4th or 5th next season. You know,
I think the worry is with it as well. You know, you go up, we got your Wolves. I mean, someone said it to me. They went, Wolves are done this season. I said they've got 11 internationals.
Yeah,
they're not going down. They've got Mattis Koemans.
I know.
And what are we talking about? I've only got Larson. Well,
Wolves could go unbeaten in this Championship, wouldn't they?
Yeah, horses. That's the gap. That's different. Crystal Palace are close. Really? Crystal Palace? You think they'll go down with all that talent? And I think
we should recognise this as well from our recent. Both clubs have been in Premier League.
It's a massive worry. It's a huge worry.
The promoted teams, and then there's a massive jump to the 17th, 16th, 15th place team.
But Neville said it as well. Neville said the Championship's dead. I heard him on the podcast the other day. He said on his own podcast.
Are you a big fan of Gary Neville?
No, not really, to be honest. I think Neville's got, look, as a player, not a massive fan of him, obviously.
Good pundit.
Yeah, I think he's got his own.
Shout out to the overlap if they're not Blade Ramble on it next season.
Confidence again, how it is.
If we're up. Championship special out there.
But it's interesting with the overlap in itself, not coming down and doing any of the Championship coverage. I don't know, maybe there's a different conversation.
I love the Championship. I mean, I agree with you that
he's dying though, and I just think the gas is becoming way too big for it. It's too big. I don't think there's going to be many.
And do you think we're lucky that we're part of that bubble that's now going to be involved in the... If we go up, if both teams go up, there's a chance both teams come straight back down again.
A big chance. Huge chance.
And then there's another chance the following season that we're two of the strongest teams in the league again.
But no,
because it's dying.
Yeah, I think that runs out though. I don't know how long that goes on for. Is the restrictions going to be coming into play at some stage with regards to that?
Maybe rush. I think there's going to be like a protected 6 soon, and we're part of it in the minute.
Yeah, that's why it's so big for Sunderland, because you look at Sunderland, and albeit they'll have a good spreadsheet, they're getting good players when these players go, but you could be literally looking at maybe Trey Hume moving on, Sirkin moving on, Bellingham moving on. Yeah. And there's not a guarantee
that's a lot of money coming into the club, don't it, as well? It is, and they will spend it well.
It is, and that's why recruitment's key at every level. But I just think right now the Championship is getting to a point. I've seen it specifically this season where I'm just looking at it and I'm going, Jesus Christ, it's bad. It's bad this season. It's really, really bad. So, yeah, the trickle-down effect's massive. But guys, let us know what you think in the comment section below. Check out Blades Ramble, as always. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. See you in a bit.
All the blades.